Hello, my dear friend. This is Phil again. Welcome back to my channel. So I unlocked this Smoky skin for the bear skull a couple of days ago. That actually reminded me how good the unarmed build can be. I thought, oh, that's gonna be a great chance to actually pick up the unarmed build and enjoy it again with the Smoky style. So in this episode, I'm gonna share you how I enjoy this unarmed build with the Smoky style. Let's start with the weapon first. So apparently you have to know how to craft the bear skull first. If you haven't learned it, you have to do the Project Paradise and hopefully you're gonna get a plan. Or you do this mutated event and you have a lot of good chances to get this plan from the mutated party pack or the mutated pack. And you will need one good mode for it, which is a puncture mode. But first of all, let me show you the two bear skull I got. This is the first one. It's a vampire one because I always love to use vampire melee weapons. They makes you so hard to kill. I prefer to use it if I stay under 20% health because in that situation I cannot use the burn survivor perk card. It's nothing fancy, just vampire is good enough. You can have the second good star, you can have the third star, but they are not necessary. Use a bear arm or bear skull. I'm not looking for great DPS. Let me rephrase it. Bear arm is not the best unarmed weapon if you are looking purely for damage. The Power Fist and the Deathclaw Gauntlet can easily outperform it. But, I mean, in this easy game, this game is so easy, right? What we are trying to do, or what I'm trying to do here, is just play with style. That's the most thing. Enjoy the game with style and with a bit of smoky smell as well. So a vampire first star is good enough for me to play to enjoy it. As I mentioned, puncturing is the must mode or the recommended mode for you guys. It gives you armor penetration. It's extremely important when you play some hard enemies. Now the second one is a blooded version, Smoky 2. And again, the second star is not really important. It can be better to have, but blooded is good enough. I prefer to use blooded when I have over 20% HP, so I can play it with the burn survivor perk card together. These two things work together to keep me alive always. You don't need to have less than 20%. You can have 21, 22 or 23%, 25%. So you still have a lot of damage boost from the blooded and you can become much more tankier than the pure 100% blooded build. And if you realize it has the same damage here as the vampire one, it's because the bug in this game you have to actually equip that weapon to see exactly the damage of it in your Pip-Boy. Now you can see it's getting a little bit higher. Now here is my perk load. 15 point strength, level 3 iron fist, blocker, must have because we are doing melee attacks, Incisor and the muscle artist. This 4 cards is the must have card if you want to maximize the damage out of your unarmed fist. However, I'm doing the hybrid build because I want to have some ranged damage. So I can switch between the ranged and unarmed when I play in different situations. And the unarmed build is a perfect match with a launcher build. That's why I have this Ordnance Express here, because I'm carrying a lot of explosives as ammo. And together with the Demolition Expert, that two perk cards makes the launcher build perfectly works for me. Under Perception, I have Concentrate the Fire. And to be frank, this is the only perk card you need under Perception if you're playing melee. I do have the Butcher's Bounty with me, because food buff is great addition to a melee build. And this perk card gave me a lot of more extra chances to find the meat. Endurance 8, I have Life Giver, Fireproof. They both give me better chance to survive. And Radical, which gave me another 5 additional strengths. That actually helped me to produce more damage when I play melee. Under Charisma, Strange in Numbers must to have. It will make the foot buff a lot stronger. A Tenderizer, a very recommended card for any build, to be frank. I have 11 points in Intelligence. Nerd Rage is definitely needed for any blood build. Battery included because my stash is 10% full. I cannot put anything back into my stash anymore, so I have to carry a lot with me. And battery included reduce a lot of weight on my energy ammo and the fusion core. 10-point agility, adrenaline, dodgy. Action boy I have only 1 point. I do have through hiker as I mentioned because I'm actually carrying whole loads of stuff with me. If you are not carrying anything, you don't really need it at all. You can give it to anything else. As I mentioned, if I want to improve my survivability, I will switch Action Boy with my Bone Survivor cards. This is extremely useful when I'm fighting some really hard enemies. 15 luck, because this is a crit per other shot build to maximize output damage. Critical survival, a must have if you want to do crit every other shot or other hit. Statue Gene, keep all my mutations. A level 3 class freak is highly recommended if you actually used the bird bone or the eagle eye or the egghead mutation. This gonna minimize the strength reduction side effect to the minimum. Ricochet, if I use vampire version of the weapon. Serendipity, increase my survivability. Let's check my legendary loadout. Hack and slash, 100% must have for any unarmed build or any melee build. That 50% explosion chance in that gonna save you a lot of trouble to kill the enemies when they clustered around you. Intelligence, perception, take one for the team because we are doing close combat. There's almost 100% we're gonna get hit by the enemy, and this one gives you additional 40% damage multiplicatively because it's a debuff to the enemy. So remember, take this with you always. It's one of the best offensive cards in this game. The legendary strength, legendary agility. Oh, I just realized my legendary strength is not maximized. That's strange. I suddenly remember it, but anyway, I will maximize that. I can give you another 2 points of extra strength. And remember, every 1 point of strength gives you 10% damage output. So every point of strength are countable in this build. Okay, that's about my perk loadout. Now let me show you my special and my mutation. So here is my special. I have 41 point strength. If I maximize my legendary strength card, I'm gonna have 43. And if I take the Deathclaw stick, it gives me another 5 points, which gonna give me 48 point strength in total. And with that strength, I'm gonna have almost 500 damage with my blooded Smoky bear arm and 34 luck. That will guarantee a critical every other hit. Actually, we only need 33 points. Now let's check my mutation. Make sure you always be well fed because it gives you extra 1 point strength, which is important. Adrenal reaction, definitely needed if you're blooded build. You probably don't really need bird bone if you haven't got it yet, but because this character has been built for all sort of builds before, so I did have all the mutations with me. I'm a carnivore, so I can eat a lot of meat to boost my melee damage. Eagle Eye, I definitely want it because I want a critical damage boost. Egghead, which can -1 strength again, but give you 8 point intelligence back. If you are still looking for leveling up your character, then this is something definitely need to have. Herd mentality. When you play in a group, you gain extra 1 point for all your specialties. Definitely worth having. Marsupial, definitely worth having, give you a lot of benefits. Speed Demon, much faster moving speed. I really want it, which is really handy in the game. Talon, if you want to play unarmed, you got to have this mutation. It gives you 35% additional unarmed damage. It's additive, basically it means it gives you 30% extra base damage depending on what weapon you use. And Twisted Muscle also is recommended because it gives you another 35% melee damage boost. Alright, that's pretty much everything about this build. Now, let's start Punch. Okay, that's everything I want to share with you. I mean, this video is a bit long because when you want to talk everything about a build, it's normally going to take a while. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give me a thumb up if you do, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But until next time, Against out.